Fine. Hey, I'm working on a new project. It's called The Rhythm of the Auroras.
The rhythm of the Faroe Islands.
No, you came up with a better name from my project. I want to go back and see if any reprints can have the new name. What was it called?
Curtains of
Heavenly.
Heaven. I
I
think it
think
was
it's
the
called,
Curtains of Heaven.
what was it?
The Curtains of Heaven?
Maybe either that or Heaven. Yeah, I think it was The Curtains of Heaven. Man, that's pretty good that you remember that because you got a sucky memory.
Well, I remember I don't like you.
Why,
Jeez.
why do we keep doing this
I
anyways?
don't know. It's pure torture.
Hey, let's talk about a quote. We love quotes.
We love quotes. You know why I
So,
love quotes? Because you feel something, you think something, but you can't put it into words. And you try to explain it with all these big words and you just don't get it across. Then you read a simple sentence like
I,
this one, like, geez,
from good old Ernie Haas. Boy, he would probably kill me for that. Ernst Haas.
sounds
So
very German to me.
Ernst, but you and I know him so well, we're going to call him Ernie Haas. So here it is. Then I want your reaction to this. Beware of direct inspiration. It leads too quickly to repetitions of what inspired you.
So simple, so succinct.
Yeah, yeah. So we're done. Okay, next video. But man, you and I have talked about this concept before, and it's in our last episode we talked about you and the felt method, and I was concerned, that you are curious, number one, that you went out and looked at images because that's against your way of thinking for this very reason. Exactly what Ernst is talking about, because it's so easy to see somebody else's image and then want to go out and do that or want to do derivative images of that. I mean, I am incredibly guilty, right? It's so hard not to.
Well, we did a recent one about some guitar player. I forget the quote, but he talked about, or maybe it was one I had watched, but he talked about there are a million great guitar players and they can really, really imitate, let's say, like While My Guitar Gently Weeps, and they do some, and they get it down and it's just perfect and it's wonderful. But isn't it more wonderful the person who came up and created that in the first place,
Right.
not somebody who learned to imitate it? And I
Correct.
can't tell you how many times that I have seen a scene in my past and went out and tried to recreate that same scene. And it happens to me now. I'll do a Harbinger shot, and I've got all these people sending me single cloud photos, and it's like, and I don't really buy into that's how we learn to do things. No, that's how we learn to imitate. That's how we learn to just copy. It's the brilliance isn't the image, it's in the idea that the image is based on.
Yeah, so what Ernst I think here is saying is, just be careful, that inspiration can lead to imitation. Ooh, there, hey, inspiration leads to
That's worthy of a quote. Somebody can quote John Barclay.
yeah, because it's really hard to get that out of your brain. But let's pivot a little bit here. But what do you say to those people who say, but that's really hard? How do I not be influenced, Cole and John? How do I not have those influence? I see images every day. They're in magazines, they're on television. How do I come? It's all been done before, Cole.
Well, it hasn't all been done before, one. And secondly, we'd be a cover band if all we did is walk around, see great images, then imitate them. And we had this portfolio. See this one? This is an Ansel Adams I copied. And see this one, it's a Kappa Negro I copied. And see
Yeah,
this one, it's an Ernest Haas image I copied. Who would be proud of a portfolio of copies? We'd be a cover band.
yeah,
And
right.
you could argue it took some skill to do it. Oh, sure, it took some skill, but it's the idea and it's the creation of an idea that's
Yeah,
really special, not the imitation of one.
yeah.
Now, Ernest Haas was really, in my mind, was advocating a form of photographic celibacy in a way.
Yeah. Yeah.
He was saying, don't go see an image and then copy it. And now a lot of people say they get inspired by looking at other people's images. But my question is, what does it inspire you to do?
To do, right. To
Does
go
it
out and make a series
inspire
of tree images just like you saw, or does it inspire you to be creative with and make images again, drawing from your vision? So let's talk just for a minute here. And I don't want to go too long. We like our viewers do say they like shorter is better. So how do you overcome that then? I mean, one idea is to become celibate. We've talked about that enough that it's hard for people to want to do that.
No, nobody
So
does.
so what do you say to those people who say, I can't give up looking at images. So how then do I avoid falling into the trap of becoming a cover band?
Well, I guess one answer would be don't, when you see an image you love, don't run out and try to
Yeah.
recreate it. You
Yep.
know, that whole imitation is the sincerest form of flattery was then modified, I forget by who, by those who, are mediocre trying to copy
Yes.
others.
Right.
Is it really the sincerest form of flattery? I don't think so. Uh,
No.
but, we each work from our own perspective, and my perspective is clearly different than other people's perspective.
Oh yeah, you're different.
It is. And so that's a great question we should be asking our viewers. How do you not look at an image you love and run out and then
Yeah.
imitate?
Yeah.
Or some might answer it's okay because you'll do it your way.
Yeah. It would be interesting. So let's leave it at that. Let's ask for just that. Viewers, please tell us your thoughts. How do you look at images, become inspired, and not run out and do derivative images of that? Or are you going to tell us that it just inspires me to go create? I'll answer the question I asked by saying, if you're being pulled to be inspired to do that, draw on that to then say, okay, that was a creative set. How can I now do my own creative thing with my own idea? Right. So if you're pulling that type of inspiration, that's good. I think to go out and do a three trees, in the prairie, just because you saw three trees in the prairie, like you say, you're a cover band, and that would be our caution. No shoulds or shouldn'ts, but just cautions. All right.
And no cover band ever becomes wildly famous.
Yeah.
In fact, the only guy I can think of who's a cover band in a way is the guy who does the jerky singing, the John Belushi imitated.
Oh, Joe Cocker.
Joe Cocker. I don't know anyone else. Well, I guess you know what? Frank Sinatra was he did a lot
Yeah,
of other people's songs,
yeah,
but Joe Cocker to me is the only guy who I know who does other people's stuff and is wildly successful.
yeah. But even his stuff, I mean, it did take a turn, and they became his songs with a different rhythmic beat, a different pace, a faster versus a ballad. They were
Yeah.
modified to become. But you're right. So that's probably going to be an interesting comment that somebody's going to make. Hey,
Yes. Yeah.
Sinatra did it. I can do it too.
He did it his way.
Oh my gosh, in New York. All right, see ya.
See ya.